Well, good morning and welcome to Daily Reflections. And we're on day 2 of this series called Encounter. And what does it mean to enter into encounter? And today I'm going to reflect on one of the most well-known encounters of all time. And that is when Jesus encountered the man being lowered through the roof and by his friends. And I've just been reflecting upon that and just thinking how prepared Jesus was for interruption. You know, he had a house full of people. He was focusing on speaking to them, and yet he was ready for interruption. He was ready for disturbance. And as his friends lowered him through, they would have had to tear off the roof, and the noise would have been interrupting the whole meeting that Jesus was at. And yet Jesus was ready, because he could see that the friends had a purpose in their heart to get their friends to be able to meet Jesus. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, I think for us it's talking about what does it mean for us to live a life of expectation, that interruption is a good thing in our lives. Many of us, we set our day out, we've got it set out, we're meeting specific people, we've got it all sorted, and if anything gets in the way of that, we get a little bit uptight and stressed about it. But I wonder what our lives would be like if interruption was a key factor in our lives. You know, I think of it quite a few times when I'm sitting and I'm chatting and maybe having a cup of coffee or just even walking or chatting or anything, and suddenly someone comes and interrupts your flow of either your conversation or your peace. As you're walking, suddenly someone comes and interrupts that. But maybe instead of thinking about, oh, that's an inconvenience, maybe interruptions are put there for purpose. And I wonder if God, really think about that. It's whether He's actually purposely put those things in there for you. You know, interruptions come usually because someone else needs to be heard. Someone else needs to be seen. And that's what I think in this scene. The friends needed for their friend to be seen, so that he could be noticed. And yet Jesus didn't rebuke them. In actual fact, he said their faith was amazing. And I just wonder if in our day, in our time, that when we meet people, we realise that this is a time for divine interruption. Are you ready for divine interruption? And are you key and thinking about what does that mean for you and I as we live our daily lives? Are there divine appointments ready round the corner for you? And are you prepared to pause, stop, and reflect upon what it is that God is saying to you at this time? You know, He may be giving you some words to speak to that person. He may be that God is actually saying something to you. Well, I think it's time to reflect on, am I leading a life that is open to interruption, or am I leading a life that's closed and I then become not open to others in my life? Well, I think this is a fantastic story, and I think it's great, that Jesus, the guy walked away healed and walked away from a paralyzed state. Well, if that's you today and you feel paralyzed in your faith and your witness, maybe God's got a divine interruption for you. So until tomorrow, I shall see you then, and looking forward to the third day of Encounter.